What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's daily devotional, man, and we're going through the book of Exodus. We're on Exodus chapter 9, verse 1. Exodus chapter 9, verse 1. And we are continuing our study, man, because God is being revealing himself through the scriptures, which is how we get to trust in Jesus more. And that's what I want to do here. I want to help you to trust in Jesus more. So if you're looking for that, looking to learn more about who God is, what he's doing, and how he's doing it, you've come to the right place. We do this by reading through the scriptures. So if you haven't read yet, Exodus chapter 9, verse 1, go ahead and stop the tape, read it, come back, and we're going to answer some questions, man. If you've already read it, let's wait no further, man. Let's wait no further. Well, actually, let's wait one further. I got a prayer request, man. Things have been crazy. But I guess really it's a praise. But God has been so good, man. Our air conditioner went out in our van. That's why I've been kind of crazy here. It's 100 degrees here where I'm staying at. And so when the AC goes out, it is tough. But somehow God has allowed for these things to work again. And so praise God for that, man. And then we've been having some struggles, me and my wife, trying to find a place to have the baby, man. We're excited about God having an addition to our family, but it's been very difficult trying to find a place to have this baby come out and so we can take care of him, man. But I believe that God has provided a way now that's real close to the place that we want to do it. So just continue to pray about that and all the things that come along with all these things, man. And I appreciate that for you, for you. I appreciate that for me, because I definitely need you guys' help. But let's jump into it now, man. I just wanted to give you a little update on what's going on in the life of Paul. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's jump into it, man. What's going on? What's happening in the scriptures? Well, we see that in the last episode that Pharaoh's heart was heavy. It hardened his heart. He didn't care nothing about what God had done. He didn't even care. He didn't even matter to him, man. What it did was strengthen his heart, or resolve his heart to not let the people go. He ain't listening to Yahweh. And so Yahweh goes to Moses and he tells him, man, you're going to meet up with Pharaoh again, man. And he says, I'm going to tell you what to do. Say these things to Pharaoh. What he says is, let my people go so that they may serve me. And so I think right here is so important. It's so important. First off, let's see what it says about God, because that's the first question asked. As we've seen what is happening, that God, Yahweh, tells Moses to do something. He has a plan. And so what that says about God is he does have a plan, man. Matter of fact, we've seen this before, because he has already told Moses what is going to occur. Now, all these specific plague strikes, he doesn't explain. Some of them he does, but he doesn't explain. But he says you're going to have to go before Pharaoh and have to use that strong hand. And so he is commanding him to do something that he knows he's going to have to do. He's in control. He's in control. What does this say about man? I think what it says about man is that we got to listen to what God says regardless of what we feel about the situation. It's called faith. It's called trust. Something that we're doing here. And because we know that God is faithful, trustworthy in all that he says and does, like I said, he gave Moses already the plan beforehand. We got to do what he says do. That's what Moses is going to do, man. God tells him to do something, and despite Pharaoh saying, because we saw in the last episode where he's like, just don't lie to me, Pharaoh. Don't lie to me, man. Well, he lied. He lied again. But as God goes back to Moses and commands him to do something, Moses is going to do it anyway. Yeah, Moses is going to do it anyway. But another thing is that when God is telling Pharaoh to do this thing, he says, let my people go. There's a purpose behind it. He says, so that they may serve me. And this word serve also means worship. And so that's a whole other subject we could talk about service and worship, how they go together, how we serve God and that in service to God, we are bringing about worship. We are worshiping the King. But what I want to say here, though, specifically in regards to what it says about man, is that God calls us out of things to bring us into things. Like there's a purpose behind why he frees us from the things that we have going on in our life, man. It's so that we can bring about his glory in the life of another, man. So it's not just that he would free us, but then he calls us. He doesn't just release us, but he then releases us. He didn't release us from sin just to be released, but he releases us from sin so that we might be released or unleashed into this world for his glory. So how do we apply these truths to our lives, man? Well, I think obviously, first off, we have to start with God. We got to understand that he is trustworthy. We got to understand that he is in control. We got to understand that he has purpose and that he has something to tell us. And then once we know that he has given us this thing that we must do, we got to do it, man. You see, even though we have all of these trials and struggles that may pass by that could cause us to feel that things aren't working the way we want it. I gave you that praise earlier about how God is taking care of things, but in the midst of those things, it felt like if God had called us to something, why isn't he allowing it to happen? Well, in those situations, we got to trust him and walk forward. We've got to believe him and just continue to do the work. And that's what Moses does. And I think that's how we can apply these truths to our lives, is continue to do the work. Continue to walk the path. Continue to take step after step so that we can see the miracle. We can see how God is going to move. We can see how God is going to shape and change us through these things, man. And I think one more thing that we can garner from this, that we can live out in our lives, is that as God is doing these things, as God is creating these opportunities in our life, man, we've got to showcase them to the world, because this is the purpose that he has called us to. He ain't brought you out of the things that you are struggling with. He ain't brought you out of the turmoil that was in your life. He ain't brought you out of the shame and the guilt that you have for nothing. What he did is he brought you out so that you can be released and unleashed to bring glory to his name. So the question is, what is it that God has released you to? What is it that God has unleashed you to do? What is it that God has for you in your life? What's the purpose? I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.